Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ron Kooming of RCS Online Solutions, formerly known as RCS Technology Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients to achieve even greater success using various Internet marketing techniques and methods. Today is part 2 of local SEO. In the first section, I spoke for about 35 minutes on local SEO. Today, this part 2, we're going to talk about advanced SEO. So if you hadn't heard the first section, you should go back and listen to the first section, which is up on, just like this section. Both sections will be up on WCAP 980 AM's website, YouTube, my channel, Ronald Kooming, and also my website, rcstechnologysolutions.com. Just go to the media tab and click on radio show, as it will all. I have radio shows from 2.5 years where I've done interviews with subject matter experts and given out tons of free information as well. So there's a ton of information, but in business, we're in business to serve people and to make money, and one of the best ways to do that is to have people be able to find you, correct? Awareness equals opportunity. It's really not a hard equation, right? Awareness equals opportunity. So one of the best ways to bring awareness to your business is local SEO, and if you can corner that, you're ahead of about 80% of businesses out there. So go back and listen to the first section for, I don't want to say regular, but the core things you need for your local SEO. Now, this is some advanced ninja stuff, okay? And again, if you can do it, great. If you can't do it, feel free to reach out to me at Ron, RON-RCS, OnlineSolutions.com, 978-606-5432. We can take a look at it and see if it's a fit for us to help you, okay? So advanced local SEO tricks to boost your rankings even faster. Now, I'm going to talk to you. Number 1 is add schema review markups. And while that schema might sound like a contagious virus, it's actually an incredibly useful piece of code that enables Google and all search engines. Again, I'm just going to mention Google here for simplicity's sake, but, it refers to all search engines, okay? And so it will help them better understand your website. One of the best schema markups to use is the review markup. If you have ever done a little bit of local research of your own, then you have undoubtedly noticed that many companies appear on Google with a ranking below their name. And then I have a picture here of an example. If you have a high rating, this will increase the amount of attention that your website draws in SERPs, which is S-E-R-P, in that search engine result page, and therefore the number of click-throughs and potential customers. Click-through is basically somebody hits your site and then they click through. You know what I mean? They see they do a search. On the search page comes up 10 results plus the ads, right? So they see it. When they click on that and they go, that takes them to your website, from the search engine to your website. That's a click-through. And you want those click-throughs because that increases the probability that somebody's going to hire you, right? They're interested, they get to your site, and then that makes them a potential customer. Obviously, once they get there, you have to have the solution to their problem. You have to convey that in your copy. But, so if you have a high rating, this will increase the amount of attention that your website draws on the SERPs, and therefore the number of click-throughs and potential customers or clients will increase. All you need to do is to add the review markup to your source code to tell Google about the public perception and review of your brand, and your review rankings will show up in a few days. But you need to be warned. If you abuse this markup and provide a false review data, any type of false review data, not only are you acting unethically, but you are also exposing your site to massive risk of penalizations from all prominent search engines. So use this carefully, but use it. As long as what you're putting in there is legitimate and true. And again, so many people don't even know what the heck it is, never mind using it. So these little tips and tricks, you got to go in and put it inside your source code. But when you do these things, it's really going to elevate you over your competitors, locally and regionally. You know what I mean? So, and then audit your citations. We talked earlier in part 1 about NAPs, right? Name, address, phone number, so I won't go into length, but that's a citation. So we've already discussed the NAP of your business is one of the single most important factors for local SEO, right? And while you may have already taken all the required steps to ensure that your NAPs are consistent across websites, pages, social platforms, other companies are not as fastidious. This is especially true if your company has recently changed locations, names, or phone numbers. For example, the simple act of adding Inc. to the name of your company name, moving your office 2 doors over, or switching phone providers can completely wreck all of your SEO in a flash. This makes it essential that you go through and manually track down all the incorrect citations that you can find and reach out to the website owners or if they're directories or whatever and ask them to change it. And you might have to pay them. Now, it takes a lot of time. You can get an intern, to do it, or you can hire somebody else to do it, because if you're doing that, then you're not doing what makes you money in your business, right? So you learn it, do it, delegate it. Learn what you need. To a point that you need it, why you need it, so people aren't taking advantage of you. So somebody's not telling you it's going to take me 10 hours to do it when it's only going to take 3, right? So learn it to that point, but then you got to delegate it. You've got to pay other people to do this type stuff. If I'm not a plumber, I could read a book, I could watch a YouTube video, maybe fix it. Chances are I'm going to make it worse, right? And plus, if I'm spending 3 or 4 hours doing that, when I could have just paid somebody $100 to fix it right, in those 3 or 4 hours, I could have made 10 phone calls and I don't want to say closed, but acquired 4 clients at $6,000 a piece, or $3,000, or whatever your rate is, right? So you know what I mean? It's really not hard. Learn it, do it, delegate it. Then number 3, optimize images for local SEO. This is kind of huge. A lot of people think that it doesn't matter anymore, alt descriptions and all that type stuff, but a lot of this stuff it really matters. As long as you're doing it right, you're not doing it, black hat techniques. The core stuff will never change. I love when Google does a big algorithm change. You know why? Because I do everything right the first time. When they do those changes, they're not out there to screw people. They're out there to help people. Those algorithm changes are there to help people. The people who gamed the system, they learned what the search engines were doing and needed, and they went out and just kind of like gamed the system, scammed it, spammed it, whatever words you want to use. When Google makes those big changes, it sets that straight, so the people who are doing the stuff right are back on an even playing field. So do your stuff right, and you'll never have to worry about a Google algorithm change, right? So don't worry about that. I don't. Optimize images for local SEO. A simple but highly effective hack to instantly boost your local SEO efforts is to fully optimize your images. This entails a couple of steps, though. First and foremost, you must make sure that you are including your keywords and location in the file name, alt text, and titles of every image on your site. However, you need to be careful that you do not fall into the trap of keyword stuffing, as this will do nothing more than damage your website and reduce overall ranking. So you want to make sure, like I said, do it right. If you're talking about, if you have a picture of your office, right, and you're putting up a picture of your office or a picture of your teammate, and I'm going to give you an example, I believe, in a second here. You're going to name your company's name, your location, and one of your services. So that's natural. That's not keyword stuffing, okay? So it's a terrible practice if you're going to be doing keyword stuffing, and it will hurt you in a way. I'm going to put a picture in here in the description. When you see this up on my website, rcsonlinesolutions.com, this will be up in a couple of days, as I've said a few times. You just go click down and you'll see the descriptions, and you'll see pretty much all the words that I've spoken here, minus my stories, because I've written a bunch of stuff to read so I could stay on track, and then I add stories. So all the stuff I've written, I'm going to put in the description, and I'm going to put a picture in here, and it talks about fire pit a fire pit company, types of fire pit. It's a picture I actually got offline. I didn't create it, and this comes from December 21st, 2012. So I'm going to include that in there. And do what I just did. If you're putting something online and you didn't create it, say that. Don't take credit for it, all right? So, but this picture is a great example of alt text behind the scenes stuff, okay? So make sure you do that and be honest. Do stuff right the first time. You'll never have to worry, okay? So and once you finish optimizing the file names, alt text, and titles, you need to compress the image to ensure that your website will load as quickly as possible. All right, because that's another one of those factors that Google uses in determining users' experiences. But in addition to that, because if somebody gets to your site and it takes forever to load, like I noticed, my radio page site takes a long time to load. It takes like 5, 6 seconds. So I'm going to be addressing that because people, they're going to get there and it takes, and they're going to bounce. And if they bounce, then that gives me a higher bounce rate, and that's a factor that Google determines, right? So make sure if you're using pictures, a lot of videos, a lot of audio, make sure your stuff is compressed and you have a quick bounce rate. There's also plugins out there if you're using WordPress and other things that you can use that will do it for you automatically, all right? And there's also other things you can do, like you can just create a complete page, a separate page for something, right? So let's say it's all your videos. So, and then just link to it. So it's a totally separate and distinct page, so it's not part of the whole, right? It now becomes a separate page, so it's going to load so much quicker because it doesn't have all the other stuff from all your other pages too, right? So, do what I just said about the alt text, the file name, alt text titles, and then compress it. And then number 4, complete a competitive analysis. The final trick, this is number 4, this is the final. I got about 4 minutes left. The final trick to boost your ranking even faster is to complete a competitive analysis within your industry. See what your competitors are doing, who they're ranking, who they're linking to, who is linking to them, what keywords are they using, where are they ranking for those keywords, how are they ranking with those keywords. So find the leaders within your niche and examine what they're doing that has allowed them to get to the top of the search engines. Examine the keywords that they are targeting, the design of their website, their email marketing, their social media campaigns. Be as objective and unbiased as possible and dig deep to overall and to really uncover what are they doing right that has led to their success and what are you lacking? What haven't you done? Do you need to spend a couple of bucks to get a good copywriter in there? You spend $1,000 and you make $12,000. Did you spend $1,000 or did you make 11? I mean, it's really a matter of perspective, right? So, in the first section, I gave you a whole bunch of tips on how to really increase your local SEO, and that's huge. I can't tell you how many people that I have worked with. I had one guy, I went to this big event in LA not too long ago, Lisa Sasovich's event, and I sat with this person from Seattle, right? And he was paying somebody $2,500 a month, and I met him in November. He'd been paying them since January, and I Googled him right there in front of him. I says, what do you do? And I Googled his company's name. He says, I'm on the first page. I said, really? I said, okay. So we Googled his company's name. I told him, so what? Nobody's looking for your company. Nobody knows who you are and what you do. If they do, they're going to look for your company. What they're looking for is the solution to their problem. So what service do you provide? And he says, and he told me his service, and I Googled his service. He came up on page 4. He's like, well, I've been paying him $2,500 a month. I got him ranked on the first page in 3 weeks because I knew what to do. And he's still my client to this day. And I got a great testimonial from him, right? And it was funny because it was the day after the event. I just went back to the hotel to sit down because it was one of the few places I knew locally in that area to grab a cup of coffee and get caught up on emails. And he was still sitting there because he was waiting to leave for his flight that day. So that was well worth it. Like, it was like $6 for Uber or something, right? But Anyhow, so I can't tell you how many people really fail. You want to rank on the first page when somebody is searching for your products and your service. If you're ranking for you don't have to do anything, and you should rank for your own company's name and your name, right? Because you're the only one with that name. So that doesn't mean anything. You want to rank for your products and services and the solutions you provide. On-page SEO, local SEO is what you really need to take care of, okay? So if you need any help with your local SEO or just to see where you're really at, feel free to reach out and contact me at Ron, rcsonlinesolutions.com, 978-606-5432. And you've been listening to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ron Kooming of RCS Online Solutions, formerly known as RCS Technology Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs much like you attract, convert, and retain your ideal customers and clients to achieve even greater success. Have a great week, everyone.
Truth or consequence.